Welcome to the CCT Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup 2015 from the Danderyd Curling Hall in Stockholm, Sweden. And today we bring you live coverage of the game featuring OESTLUND from Sweden and FELTSCHER from Switzerland. And the standings: 2 wins for OESTLUND in the section of 5 teams, and no wins for FELTSCHER, who was world champion a couple of years back, so desperately requiring a win today. That's the table so far after 3 rounds, with OESTLUND at the top and FELTSCHER down at the bottom. These are the teams: Paulina Steen at lead, Sarah Carlson second, Sabina Kraup third, and the skip is OESTLUND. And for Switzerland, for the Swiss team, the lead is Christine Urech, Franziska Kaufmann at second, Irene Schori third, and the skip, FELTSCHER. Team from Flims in southern Switzerland. So, they will play A10s. And of course, if Team OESTLUND wins, they're looking in good position to qualify to the quarterfinals. The 5-team round robin means there's 1 bye for each of the teams, 1 round where they don't play, and the 4 games where they do. This is the 3rd game for some of them, including FELTSCHER and OESTLUND. And on the top of the board is the OESTLUND team under the name Allmarks, just to confuse you, and on the bottom of the board, playing the Blue Stones, FELTSCHER. So lead player for FELTSCHER, Christine Urech, starts the play with the intern draw shot, and she lands on the top of the 4-foot circle with her opening stone. Paulina Stein. Just trying to put up the corner guard, the usual strategy for the first stone or two.
Doch nur. Ging gut. Ist noch viel Platz? Kommt viel länger? Nicht hinein ins Gas. Okay, okay.
Second shot for Paulina Stein. Attempted double. She knocks one onto the next. And this morning I'm joined by Armin Harder from Switzerland, who will, of course, give us some insight in particular to the FELTSCHER team. Good morning, Armin. Hope you enjoy this game with us.
Good morning, Richard. Nice to be here. The Swiss are not off to a great start at 0-2. Seemed to last year at this event they also struggled without a win. So they're hoping to improve on that this morning. OESTLUND sitting at 2-0. Nicely level.
So Franziska Kaufmann at second. And the Swiss team were the world champions when the
St. John de Brunswick. Yep.
yeah, World Women's Championship was played 18 months ago in St. John.
Yep. And then they followed that up in November with the European title.
Just to prove it was no luck. It was
Certainly had a
skill. They had a hot run, didn't they?
very good year. Yeah.
And since then, what's been happening? You know more than I do on that.
Well, they're obviously in Switzerland. It's extremely difficult to for the ladies. The competition is pretty tough. So following season, Pats came out, who's also playing here this weekend, and they went on to win the world title last year in Japan. So you got that kind of competition. It's pretty hard to come out again.
Yes, quite unusual for a country other than Canada to have different world champions, one after the other, in the same element of the sport, the women's game.
3 different ones in the 4-year span. Quite pleased with that.
Yeah, quite an achievement.
And the number 1 ranked Swiss team hasn't won a title yet. So maybe that'll be their turn this year.
And in the standings, the number 1 team is
Tyrensoni.
Tyrensoni.
Yeah.
And if you're watching all our games through this event here in Stockholm, we do plan on showing Tyrensoni. No, we don't.
We already have.
We have shown Tyrensoni.
Jones yesterday. Or Holman, sorry, yesterday. Holman. Well, we didn't show them. That was, but they played already on that. Do we have them scheduled? No, we don't have them scheduled. Maybe we'll see them in the quarterfinal.
I was just going to say that. There's every possibility.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a tough group. Holman, Tyrensoni, Hasselberg. Korean team, a very strong Korean team. At 0-2, but they're very dangerous. And Andrea Shep. And in this group we have Muirhead, Verano from Sweden, FELTSCHER, Switzerland, Nielsen from Denmark, and OESTLUND here from Sweden. None of these groups are easy. Very good competition, top teams from all over the world.
Well, really nice hit and roll there.
Yep. Another nice hit and roll. That's the second one this end.
Super. Sehr schön.
Bit of a straight raise. I don't think that one on the outside is counting on the left, that yellow one. Very nice. It did roll open though. Opportunity here for FELTSCHER to try and hit and roll behind again.
Normal, normal.
So skips stones here in the first end.
Stanna hoog. Achter. Stanna hoog. Oh.
FELTSCHER just hitting and rolling off to the wing. She will be just behind the tee line, protected by that Swedish counter on the top of the rings.
85, 90. Känns 85 okej då? Tänkte nu är vi lite längre ut. Ja.
Good opportunity here to
Bra, vi ska precis över linan där.
get in behind that
Ja.
center guard.
Sissy OESTLUND, our first stone in this game.
Bra linje! 6-7. 6-7. Bra linje! 6-7. Fin linje! Ja! 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 Kom igen! Ja, jobba!
Working it hard, trying to get it right past. Looks like it's wrecking. Just didn't get by.
Jättemycket.
Swiss will need to be careful now though. Those rocks are fairly close to the house.
Tappar lite bort. Vad sa du?
Den här kommer till. Heter kraftbremset om det är eller för skate. Nicht so.
Also ob die am Anfang so wenig gegarnet haben dort.
Ja. 13,5 etwa. Sie hat 13
Weil der von ihnen hat jetzt plötzlich UV-Stelle.
Ja.
Ihre wäre nicht schlecht gewesen.
Dit geht in den Händen anders.
And now the last stone for
Ja.
FELTSCHER.
Gut! Ende genug! 4! 4! Kilago! Wir sind 12! Backline! Ja! Oh! 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 Oh!
A nice little rub
Super
and rolled
Well, nice.
right behind the guards nicely.
result.
Yep, very good result. Cece's got a raised double delay too. Very difficult shot. Certainly try the run back. That FELTSCHER stone did move that yellow rock that was in front of the house to count as a biter. So if she makes his run back and doubles both of them out, might actually be able to make two. The long double though.
Well, it would be some shot.
That would be a great shot, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think it would be pretty tough to make that.
It's possible. You need a lot of.
She's playing controlled weight takeout on this, or raise anyway.
It's got to move a bit. She needs to stick that one.
Not going to curl enough.
Not going to curl enough. Steal of 2 for FELTSCHER here in the first end.
So off to a great start. Switzerland's Binja FELTSCHER. Team FELTSCHER leading 2-0.
Was willst du dann fahren?
Ich weiß aber auch nicht.
Hä?
Aber ich bin nicht sicher, ob der von ihr in der Treit mehr curlt oder bei mir eine weniger. Ich glaube, ich baue dann mal meine. Willst du das auch?
Swiss are having a little discussion about the rocks.
Det som du drog, det var tyckte jag var fint i fart liksom. Kan man ta det?
So Arm in the Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup has attracted a strong field to the Danderyd Arena this weekend.
Yes, once again, it's very, very high caliber field. They've done a great job here again. Last couple of years, this tournament has really taken off. Done a lot. And it's certainly become one of the best in Europe. It's a nice facility too. This rock's sliding a little bit too long. Don't really want to be back there. Christine Jurek. Don't know if that rock is still biting at the back.
So Paulina Stein is putting up the guard for Sweden. So with the last stone advantage in the first end, they could not convert that into a point, giving up 2 to Binja FELTSCHER.
And here we see that back rock. Probably still is biting. Rolf Wickstrom and his crew here, organizing committee, have done a super job again. We're hosting the hotel, everything's worked out fine. They've got the curling rink set up in the hotel lobby. Lots of people trying that out.
So second stone here for Paulina Stein. Just trying to
And
hit and roll, but
gets the back one.
making the straight hit.
She ended up taking out both.
Ja.
And she did. Franziska Kaufmann now opportunity to remove this counter. Maybe get a little roll behind that yellow guard. Seems to be a little on the outside.
So the Swiss stone just sticking out on the wing, and Sissy Östlund ignoring that.
Might come in handy later to use that.
So Sarah Carlson, second player for the OESTLUND team.
Not really getting anywhere near that guard. Want to be closer to that guard.
Well, perfect weight, but
Yep.
a little bit misjudgment on the line.
You did 2 games on the sheet yesterday. Did you notice anything about the curl?
Well, the teams have found it a little tough just to get the weight in the early end, particularly towards the sideboards coming in this direction.
This one's hanging out there too a bit.
Ja, aber noch mehr. 10-6. Oh, it's been yeah.
Really good. Oh,
Oh, well, it's behind the guard now. So, a little bit of a flyer at that one from Kaufman. And
looked perfectly behind the guard now.
yes, couldn't place that any better, really.
Use any kind of weight there, it'll run a little straighter on you.
There is a big draw from
Towards the boards.
left to right as you look at it from the player's end towards the boards.
Yeah. Oh, there's a big swing there, yep. You can see it
So
moving now.
plenty of ice given by Sissy OESTLUND to Carlson to bring this stone
Down to the blue one.
towards the blue one, but
Nicely done.
yeah, perfect.
Yep. So good setup here for the Swedes. Trying to get back that 2 they gave up in the first end. Binya opting to try and freeze to this yellow one. Ira and Shori. Her turn draw. She'll want to be in front of this rock somewhere. Don't want to bump. Starting to move slowly now. Needs to come a little more. It's not coming like that. You want to leave it high enough so that the angle is better on the takeout. But I still think Swedes could get on the inside of it, hit and roll behind. Sabina Kraut trying to remove that Swiss counter. Looks pretty good. Nicely done.
So Binya Feltscher asking for the takeout, and well, she's going for the double here.
Double's possible. The question is, will you be able to keep your shooter if you make that double?
Yes, I don't think so. I think it'll run out.
It'll be interesting to see how much curl we have on this side. Might got that started a little bit. Yeah, certainly did all over the guard. You can see her when she came out of the hack, she fishtailed a little. Set it to the inside. But the guard is gone.
So the last stone in this end is held by Sissy OESTLUND and her team. So Feltscher in a spot of bother, lying 3 against, possibly 4 after this. Second stone from Sabina Kraut. Third for the OESTLUND team. Again playing this in-turn draw. Curls a long, long way here, and this one's
A little heavy though.
looking a bit speedy.
You don't want to. You got an opportunity like that. You don't want to leave get the team off the hook. Anywhere in the house with a probably been okay.
Wir haben doch hier auch so eingehen. Und aber vielleicht ist der erste einfach gewesen da, oder? Ja.
It's a little tricky now for Bina to come down here and try and play the same shot with
Also, probieren wir den Doppel.
Shori not have played that well with that shot, so it's hard to read the ice off those. Here she was still guessing a little bit about what she wants to play.
Well, same handle, the in turn. Of course, the stone of Irene Shuri curled a long, long way. Is this one? Well, not bad.
That's pretty good.
She didn't make the double, which she was trying for, I think, but she did get hit and roll in front of the Swedish stone. So now the back end of the Swedish team, third and skip, having a little discussion how to hit this one out and retain the shooter stone of Sissi Östlund. This is her first stone here in the second end.
Chances are if she does hit it well enough to remove it cleanly, she's going to be leaving a double somewhere, which will allow the Swiss to minimize this end a little bit anyways. Working it hard. Oh, she does remove it cleanly.
Well, very nice. Just missing the shot stone of her own on the 4-foot circle, rolling across, but it does leave
There's actually
a fairly easy double, maybe.
there is a triple there.
Well,
She'd
yes.
have to play the other turn now. She would have to play the out turn at it. Come pretty solid. But she's
I think Bina Feltscher would be reasonably satisfied only to give up 2 here.
hit and stay here, double them out and stay, and force Sissi to make a clean hit for 2. Working it hard. That seems to be over curling.
This is curling quite a lot.
She can miss everything.
Ooh. Well, that's what happened to Irene Shuri's stone. It curled a long way too.
Yeah.
Took the guard off, but it was down a similar line to that of Feltscher.
She could have played a little more weight at this, probably.
Or
Just
even a
throw it
little,
solidly.
maybe a little more ice, or maybe she was inside the line of the direction given to her by Irene Shuri. She did seem to snatch at it a little bit on her delivery. So now a free draw for 4 for Sissi Östlund here in the second end with the last stone of the end. And it could just as easily have been 5 but for the miss from Kraup with her second stone here.
Very controlled, very nice. Score 4.
So, just to prove she's got the draw weight, she draws to the button. And with that draw, 4 shots for the Swedish team of Sissi Östlund and a 4-2 advantage after 2 ends of play here at the Stockholm Ladies Curling Cup.
Live coverage of Curling Champions Tour. First women's event of the season for the tour.
gestern noch viel
Auden
von der
Masters having taken place a couple of weeks ago already,
Ja, das denkt man sich
where we saw the men in action.
Ja, danke. Viel kommt zu lang ist gut.
Nicholas Edin
Oh, das ist klar.
coming away the winner there against Tom Brewster in the final.
Aber wenn ich trainieren geht es eh besser.
Aber jetzt ist es gut safe, oder? Aber jetzt ist es.
So, a number of these teams playing here have already been in competitive action in Canada. 2 events over there already in early September. The season now extending at both ends. Gets going at the end of August and it runs all the way through to the end of April, beginning of May almost.
It won't be long before we're into May. Curling all year round soon.
So in number 3, and this time OESTLUND starting with the corner guard.
I think they would have
A little bit
preferred
near,
that a little
near the corner.
near. We're in the house or on the
Or
center
in the
line.
house, yeah.
It's really not a great shot there. You score 4, though you don't really want to turn around and give up score again. Maintain that for a couple of ends.
So the corner guard being put up by Christine Urech for the FELTSCHER team.
I'd almost be tempted to remove my own guard on this shot, because that's really poorly placed guard for the Swedes.
Yes, but doing that immediately after putting it there just demonstrates how bad it really is.
Well, that's the other point.
But that's quite bad too.
Yeah, that's not very good either. It's better than the corner guard, I guess.
Yes.
Länger, hè? Goed, een meter länger.
So, poor start to this end for the OESTLUND team.
Opportunity for the Swiss. Let's see what they can do with it. They certainly need to play a better end than they did in the last one.
Lang is goed. Achtung. Vier. Vier. Oh.
That's all over the guard. Seems to be a big swing towards the boards, like you were saying earlier, Richard. Players just don't seem to have that under control yet. Got to believe what you're looking at.
Vänta! Bra linje! Släppa mycket nu! Lyssna överkall! Behöver inte dra för linje. Bara stanna gärna. Kollar över.
Backline, hängen. So. Ja, genau.
And she's playing away from the board. She'll want to play this a little softer. She's playing backline weight, she called.
Backline. Backline header. Bis 5.
Francisca always has a lot of rotation, so
Ein Ribberner.
those rocks will run a little straighter
Okay. That's all.
with control weight. Probably why you'll have to play that on that side if you're playing takeouts. Just bring the weight down a bit. Playing away from the boards. They will curl. Just take a little longer. Certainly don't overthrow them.
Sarah Carlson, second player for OESTLUND. bit more weight, and it didn't curl quite so much. The hit and roll behind the guard is what they want, but neither team just making it. So another chance for FELTSCHER to
Ich glaube, es war häufig vorher.
make that shot.
Francisca gets to practically play the same shot again. This one looks a little bit on the wider. Good control weight though. Yep. Just a little bit on the wide side. She released it. A little more weight too than her last one.
Well, this time the hit and roll being made by Sabina Kraup for Team Ostland, but just over curling slightly and appearing out the other side, so FELTSCHER can see it, and a chance this time to curl either way, to roll either way, I beg your pardon, behind either of the guards. The preference behind the centre guard. So Erin Shorey, and she's on the guard. In fact, with that little roll, she's more or less guarding the shot stone of Sissi Ostland.
Once again, the Swiss being very kind to the Swedish team.
När jag hade is där så var jag på andra sidan linan, men istället hade stannat. Jag tror att vi kan ha mer. Jag vill säga att vi behöver mer is. Att det behöver mer än det.
Well, 2/3 of the stone at least is visible for Sabina Kraup. I'm just looking to come through there and split the stones up so that they're both behind the guard. So just a little tap on the counter and the rings. She catches half of it and splits the two. It'd be a great shot at this stage of the end. It's going to curl a long way. Well, it's really swung at the end and came right out the other side of that blue guard stone belonging to the Flynn's team. FELTSCHER looking to Shorey just to follow that in and tap it back, a little bit more weight.
Looks like it's curling a lot too.
She was onto the guard again.
Just
Just not reading this quite
no,
properly.
they're not reading the ice very well. They get a nice guard back there again. The Swiss are going to have a bit of a problem.
So a great chance here for Sissi Ostland to capitalise on their two-stone advantage here. Good opportunity to steal at least one. Skip stones remaining in the third end of this game. Sissy OESTLUND. Our first stone here in the third end. And guard to prevent the removal of these two stones by FELTSCHER.
Guard's a little bit long. Would like to have had it a little tighter to the rings.
Well,
if you get on the inside of that, the Swedes will be in trouble.
could be, but of course hitting it means that Sweden will still continue to lie the first shot. So that's the dilemma here.
I think you might be able to get on the inside and move that Swedish rock back. Certainly there. It doubles.
I don't think you can get past
Trickier on
the
that
guard.
side.
You can't get past the guard with enough. There's not enough space to have much impact on the stone to the right of these two in the top 4-foot circle. The blue circle in the middle there. So instead going for the other side. This is a little bit dangerous. The way these two Swedish stones are lying, unless you can get to the area between the two and hit them both out, you're not going to lie the first shot by hitting the nose of either of them, assuming you can get to them, that is. So Binja FELTSCHER here, her first stone in this third end.
No curl on this side. Keeping it straight. Let's move it off the top of the 4-foot. Not quite what she wanted though. She's gonna have a tough shot with her last one.
Well, it was nearly very good.
Nearly.
If she had just held the line and hit that stone there in between the two stones, then it would have been a great shot. But as it was, it just over curled it a little bit, and the result is 2 Swedish stones and a great opportunity for a steal of 2 points here for OESTLUND. She doesn't have the last stone, FELTSCHER does, but she does have the opportunity now to block the way into these stones.
FELTSCHER will be forced to play the wide out turn on the right hand side then. A little heavy on this. She didn't want to be that deep.
Well, little bit.
Might have worked out for her anyways. First steal of one. There's a double there, but Binja is going to the outside. Getting into some fresh ice on this side. She just said it might be a little slower here.
So FELTSCHER facing 3 Swedish stones. I don't think this is the shot I would be playing. I would be cutting it down if I could to only one.
This is really new territory here.
Big chance to lose 3 shots unless she makes a really good draw shot.
Starting to make its move now.
It's pretty good for weight. It's not far away.
Now it's going to sit. Oh wow, look at this.
What a great shot from Binja FELTSCHER.
And she makes it.
I think she does.
Yeah. That was a dicey shot, Richard. Yep. Great one though.
Wow, with that super draw against 3 down to fresh ice, Vinja FELTSCHER narrows the score to 4-3, still in favour of Sissy Östlund and her Swedish team.
Nee, ik probeer hem maar bouwen. Dat is even dus niet te veel mee. We zullen proberen irgendwie strijd.
Swiss will definitely need to make some adjustments to reading the ice here. Let's see if they get it a little bit better.
So in number 4. And the FELTSCHER team start this end with lead player Christine Urech. The FELTSCHER team come from Flims, which has a very nice curling facility, Armand.
Yes, it does. Swiss Championships will be played there this year, or this season, next year. But actually Bina is the only one from Flims. The rest of the girls are spread all over Switzerland. Franziska's from Grindelwald. Irene's from Zurich. Christine is from the Bern area. So they're spread quite wide. Definitely difficult to get together for team trainings. It's another lead rock here that's not really in the place you want it to be.
Paulina Stein just struggling with the weight at the moment. Well, that one just creeping into the front of the house.
Yep. Just overswept that a bit. Good weight. Would like to have had that about a rock shorter. This has got a long way to curl too, but it will move at the end. See it coming now. And now a double attempt to remove those two front blue ones. by Sarah Carlson. And she gets one, almost gets the other. Rolls over to the corner.
Den var lite...
Franziska Kaufmann once more.
Mitt i!
She's got very good rotation on that rock. Really can control that well. It's a little bit long, that guard, for that side. You need to be closer to the house there.
Well, certainly covering the stone completely, and Sarah Carlson being asked to remove it, so it's doing the job for them.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, good play from Carlson.
Ja. Oké. Beetje even daar. Nee, zo goed.
Mitt i 2! Mitt i! Mitt i!
Weglassen, Carla, weglassen.
Mitt i!
Zo snel, Tia. 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 Kees, moest Carla. Tia, 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 Tia. Kees, kom maar, nog iets. Tia, 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 nog iets. Tia, Kees. Goed zo, sehr schön.
So I think they may have just curled enough to provide good cover for the stone on the 4-foot circle. So Sabina Krupp being asked to remove this, and she will.
Job done.
So what's the tactic here, Armin, if you are FELTSCHER?
FELTSCHER definitely trying to make two. I think she'll try and keep that covered until the end, and then do a little tap for two. Raise hers onto the yellow.
Biggest problem though is that
the angle's not quite perfect for it.
well, Sissy Ostlund has the last stone.
Yeah. So just try to keep that covered, that rock.
Zullen we nog een draadjes maken?
Ja, wir sind wahrscheinlich falsch, oder?
Hoping that they'll make a mistake or knows it. But you play the peelings on the out-turn side right now, they're pretty easy to control. They run pretty straight on you.
Ja, pas op, dat eer tijd und dann so hinten, oder? Aber das ist ja ein bisschen gefährlich, oder? Ja, es geht nicht drüber. Was meinst du?
So the back yellow stone
No,
of
back
those
yellow
two,
one too, yeah.
it counts first shot at the moment,
Kannst du eh Pause nehmen?
belonging to Sissy Ostlund.
Was macht man dann? Sie liegt echt mit 2, es ist noch stoßen.
Of course, FELTSCHER wouldn't mind all that much if Ostlund is forced to a single point here.
Nope.
Because she would get the last stone advantage back going into the next end.
Well, she either has to make a play at those, force that yellow one out and lay first and second,
Kann ich da besorgen?
Ja, überhaupt.
or just continue guarding that.
Ja.
She doesn't want to make a mistake. She'd end up giving up 3 though.
Yes, plenty of,
Backline oder was?
well, 2 yellow stones there and last stone advantage as well
Ja.
for Ostland and her team.
Wenn der noch da ist, ist wenigstens der noch.
Also wir legen so lange eine 2 nicht treffen und dann anlegen, oder? Dann legen wir doppelt. Das machen wir
Aber
aber
der
nicht.
ist ja noch der.
Ja,
Der ist
aber
ja nicht
5
weg.
3. Ja. Es darf nicht mehr aus. Einer
Der andere
machen.
ist einfach noch mal da.
I think if you do make a play at that blue one, you're going to have to make sure that yellow one disappears completely.
Und da?
Yes, it needs to go out of the rings so that there's not
Machen wir den.
possible count of 3 for
So das Öhrli verstecken.
Sissy Ostland's team.
Der kann es nämlich nicht bei
Ostland, of course, already leading 4 shots to 3.
Okay.
Und wenn er da ist, ist er
And
auch
with
nicht
the
schlecht.
advantage of last stone here,
Wie viel?
this is a long
Ein bisschen weniger.
decision-making process here.
Ich glaube 8.
Either opting to put one in the top of the 8 foot, trying to cover that blue one.
Probieren wir noch so ein bisschen verstecken.
Ja.
But that could be dangerous because it could leave a double on.
Wir haben den nicht so fest, Öhrli.
Well, I'd be tempted to play an outturn onto the blue, remove the yellow, and try and split, play 2, force her to 1. It certainly would be there. Might even roll behind the guard. Doesn't get this quite right. She is certainly looking at a possible, giving up a possible 3.
Well, they asked for it to be fully in the 8 foot.
It's
Well, it's not too bad, but Sabina Kruip indicating that they still lie the first shot of those 2 on the 1 foot button.
although I think that's irrelevant at the moment. I think hit that on the nose, double them out. You lose your shooter, but you end up lying 2.
Well, you keep the shooter, but lose the backstone.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The shot rock.
But it would mean you lay 2 and the house would be nice and open again.
Exactly.
Simplifies the play somewhat, which if you're Sissy Ostland is what you want to do, and this isn't. Just have to hit this in the right spot. So 3 stones remain here in the 4th end.
She just hits this just off inside of the nose. 3 of those rocks will disappear. Doesn't want to come too thin to jam them, or too thick either. So gotta just hit it just right.
Sissy Ostland then. Her first stone here in the 4th end. 3rd end. 4th end. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, she makes it great. Good shot.
And she takes her shooter away from the guard,
So no double opportunity there.
which is what she wants.
Oder so. Ja? So. Oder so. Ha? Ja. So ist ein bisschen. Wie lange kommt? 8? Ja. Oh, kijk hoeven niet. Oh, kijk hoeven niet. Nee, aber nicht. Ja.
Ja, ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob er geht von dem her. Ich habe noch wenig Reis bei. Ja, weiss ich den Reis nicht.
Switzerland roll, but I think it's going to roll too
Roll
far.
too far is
And
easy draw for 2.
90.
Certainly put them in the driver's seat.
90.
the last time Sissy Ostlund had a draw for 4, of course, she covered the pot lid, the centre of the house, with her draw shot. And this was at this end, coming down here the last time, so I think there's a very good prospect of a nice draw shot from her for her deuce.
And good sweepers will always sweep it right onto the button for you.
So last stone draw shot from Ostlund. The last stone before the halfway break. Chance for Ostlund and her team to go ahead by 3 points. And once more, she has the draw weight nicely to the top of the 8-foot circle. And Team Sissy Ostlund scores 2 points there. And with it, they jump to a 6-3 advantage over former world champion Binja FELTSCHER. So, the first end in this game
10.
was an attempted raise from Sissy Ostlund onto the shot of FELTSCHER on the button. She failed with that, and with it, 2 shots of a steal to the FELTSCHER team, and a great start for them. But it didn't last long as we go into end number 2. Binja FELTSCHER in all kinds of trouble, and it was a free draw shot for Sissy Ostlund, which she will make right onto the button for her 4, and with it a 4-2 advantage after 2 ends. The game turning with that one. On to the third end then, and more trouble for the Swiss team of Binja FELTSCHER, facing 3, and with a draw down fresh ice, she will make it fantastic shot from the Swiss skip against 3 Swedish counters, narrowing the score to 4-3. And just before the break, we saw a further free draw shot for Sissy Östlund and her team. An easy draw for her. 2 points with that, and with it a 6-3 advantage at the half-time break. So both teams getting ready for the second half, and Binja FELTSCHER and her squad need to tighten up their game quite a bit. And Paulina Stein's been struggling in this game to get the draw weight. But still, despite that, the Östlund team are healthily in the lead with a 6-3 scoreline in their favour at this point. So end number 5. How's it going to go, Armin?
Well, I think the 2014 world champions are going to have to show some world class to make up those 3 points. Certainly can start with Christine Urick getting the rocks in the right place, set up a good end, get some corner guards up, and read the ice properly. It'll curl a little less going this way. And it'll run a little longer too, so you got to back up on the weight too. So this isn't really the shot you wanted. In the house, this will just make it easy for the Swedes to remove. Now she's taking a shot from the curling side. I might play that from the other side, the intern side. Danger here of over curling. Nicely done.
So Paulina Stein hitting and sticking. To lie 2 for Östlund.
Christina asked to put the guard up on the other side this time. And a very long guard, but it's no longer protected by the free guard zone rule, so Östlund can call for the takeout here. Sarah Carlson being asked to remove that guard. Well done. So now the Swiss are forced to put up another guard, but will have difficulty maintaining them. Swedes certainly have a simple job.
Tipptopp. Schön so. Sehr schön.
And once again, that peeling, fairly straightforward. The Swiss are going to have to somehow utilize those 2 rocks in the house. Maybe put a guard somewhere in front of them. So it makes that clearing a little more difficult for the Swedes. And we'll see that here with Franziska
Is goed, vliegen lengje, met
Kaufman
die.
putting up
Komt er heel lang,
Yep.
niet? Ja, twee, hè.
guard on the
Heb ik
inside.
gemaakt. Met die twee. Ja. En dan wechselen, dan beetje naar hem vloes.
I want to get nice and close too.
Goed, goed schön. Maar ik zou hinter de andere niet, oder? Hinter de andere niet, oder hinter de andere?
And the miss. That's what the Swiss were looking for. A mistake. Urain Shori being asked to come around that guard.
Drie! Zij drie!
We'll need to get past it fairly tight to be able to get buried. You see on the draws, it does curl. All right.
Goed, lengje. Zie je richtig! Oh, nog lengje, nog lengje, nog lengje, nog lengje. Wechselen, wechselen, wechselen. Zie je? Zie je? Heel schön. Heel schön. 14,5. Ja.
Very nice shot.
Dat is 14,5. Ja. Had het niet meer gewust. Geef het 2 jaar oké voor u.
Swedes have to be careful here. Can't overthrow it. Miss everything. Want to be a little tighter and at least take the guard. Well done.
Die bent ook goed op die zitten. Goed staan! 14.
It curls enough for the outturn that you can get behind one of those 2 yellows. See a lot of ice here.
Goed! Richtig is goed! Richtig is goed! Zie je?
I see that rock making its move.
Oh! Het. Die het. Zo goed. Ging 8. Ging 4.
Very nicely done. Swiss sitting with 2 counters.
Schön. 3-7.
Sissy would like to hit and maybe roll behind her own shot. It's in the top of the 12 foot. Working it hard. Want to keep the shooter. Just doesn't get enough of that rock and rolls out. Swiss still laying with 1. Maybe an opportunity now to go around that one on the top of the 12 foot. Again, you can get buried there quite good with the outturn. further. Even half behind would be all right. Don't need to be fully buried. Just need to delay second shots.
Partner 4.
Ja.
Partner 4. Diesel 4.
Helt så här, fan det går ut.
So a good chance here for Binja Feltscher to pick up 2 points, maybe 3 points, but certainly 2. This her first stone in the 5th end. Lying one already, guarded. Chance to get round behind this centre guard.
Sorry. Och de var riktigt. Häng av. Garni.
Sweepers are backing off on this, usually an indication it's a little warm.
A little wide and a little heavy. Is it going to stop for second shot though? That's the key thing.
Don't think so.
No, I don't think
Big
so
mistake. An opportunity gone.
Well, you can't afford to do that at this stage. That was a critical draw shot there. And even lying round the front stone in the front of the house in the 8-foot circle would have been a good shot.
Still a tricky situation here for the Swedes. If she tries that raise on that and doesn't quite make it, could be a hit for 3 for the Swiss. So a big shot here for Sissy.
She does have to make this shot, but I think she has to go for the shot.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's not as easy as it looks, probably. She needs to definitely make contact with that blue one in the back.
Ja, alltså jag tänker att om vi inte sätter den så kan vi ge dem 3. Om vi bara tappar bak den så...
Jag tror de är runda! Kom upp allihopa!
Ja, det är bara...
Playing the in turn there, you can control that, and it runs fairly straight. I think playing an out turn here against the boards.
Jag tänker om det råkar bli så här. Då har de den här för 3.
Ja, det är väldigt sant.
Det känns som att den här är
Då
jättefin.
går vi kanske på den direkt i så fall.
Ja, men typ en hacksarg kanske.
Sarah, don't understand the Swedish, but I think Sarah
Alltså det kan
probably
ju
thinks
tippa
she
den
could
också.
pick it out. The blue one.
Jag funderade på att runda den här, ja. Alltså, ja, om du vill. Jag tycker den här ser superfin ut. Ja. Jag tycker den är svår med att det är så oberäknelig köl, tycker jag där. Ja. Jag tänkte vi såg väl precis deras gå där. Ja, vi går inte lika. Så, men. Runda den om du vill. Jag gillar att runda istället för att skjuta, så välj vad du vill, känner jag. Hur gillar du?
Jag tycker rätt att vi utesluter den. Den är inget bra. Den var dum av oss. Antingen runda, men jag tycker att den här är ännu bättre. Men om du känner att vi är osäkra på isen, då tar vi inte den. Så enkelt är det. Då ska vi runda istället.
Jag bara tänker att det skulle kunna bli samma sak här. Är man lite tung, går i här, trycker ut den och rullar ut själv. Så i så fall vill jag spela den här med bara en 10.
Ja, men lite mer säkert ut, tycker jag. Den ska absolut vara sämre än dem och då behövs lite mer än 10.
Tack då.
Ja.
Det känns jättebra.
It's a draw, the worst case you're going to give
För
up
på
2.
hacksack har vi också råd att gå i här och
Just a
ligga
draw.
på. Alltså då ligger vi ändå en liksom.
Ja, på 60.
I'm not quite sure what they've decided to do.
The
freeze.
I think
They're trying to pick it out.
The tap back, perhaps to lie 2 or 3 shots, but tapping the blue one back is what she's eventually decided to do. And I think on the basis that even if she doesn't make the shot, she could come off the front one and roll into lie first shot.
As long as she doesn't
There's
overthrow it here, that's
one or two different options.
Key here is not to overthrow it. Make sure you keep that shooter around.
This is certainly a safer option, there's no doubt about that. It seems to be curling a long way.
Yeah.
She's got the weight all right, but it's just going to over curl, I think, and get onto that guard or onto the side stone. Well, that's exactly what it has done. And it's not going to lie. Second shot.
Oh,
Sorry.
Unfortunate. rolled up to the back one.
In actual fact, as soon as it was on the guard, they should have lifted the brushes and caught that a little bit thicker, and it would have rolled in behind the front yellow counter. That stone in the front red ring. So FELTSCHER now with a chance to get 2 back. Even though her first stone was too heavy and lay in the back rings, it still posed a threat to OESTLUND. So draw for 2, and she only really needs to outcount the yellow stones, which are fully in the red 12-foot circle. And this, the last stone of the 5th end. 3 more ends of regulation play after this. We're having to work this one.
Yeah, make sure it's there. You got to get into the 8-foot.
It's got to be fully in the 12-foot.
You have to work it
red
some more
to outcount those.
Oh no. That's
Well,
not good enough because that back one's counting. Huh? It's only 1.
Well, a little bit of an escape for Sissy OESTLUND, only to give up the single point. And another disappointing draw from FELTSCHER. The first one was too heavy, and the second one too light. So 6-4 the score now in favour of Sissy OESTLUND from Karlstad in Sweden.
So it's definitely not taking advantage of the opportunities they had there. Hammer now goes back to the Swedes with a 2-point advantage. That's a pretty comfortable lead with the hammer.
So the 6th end will commence with Christine Urech once more, lead player for Binja FELTSCHER. The centre guard, not too far from the front of the house.
That's the first real good center guard that we've seen in this game.
Yes.
Pretty important here that this rock stays in front of the tee line, but that's not looking that way right now. I think I'd start sweeping it, make sure it's right at the back.
So
I think in this situation it would be a lot wiser to, if you see it's heavy, the sweeper's got to communicate that to the skip, and it's better off, you're better off sweeping that right out the back, because that rock is only going to help the Swiss. This looks extremely short. Working hard to get over that line. Just makes it. A piece of cake. Those are the toughest shots. Just getting just over the hog line.
Paulina Stein, her second shot here in the.
This is looking
sixth
long
end.
again too. It's going to be behind the tee line. It's a really good setup for the Swiss. Franziska Kaufmann. Just a little bit short. She would like to have been top of the forefoot with that. It's time for the Swedes to do some housekeeping.
De andra två, jag vill se hur inte det ligger. Väl du Cissi. Ja.
I think you got to go for the long guard.
I think so. The Östlund team are ahead by 2 and they do hold last stone advantage, so they have to clear out the front of the house here to give them the opportunity to get to the 4-foot circle later in the end. Well done. Good shot from Sarah Carlson there, clearing out the front. She will leave one guard still there.
Ja. Jag tycker vi ska när vi ligger på. Ja, jag gillar också det.
So Östlund looking at another stone to try and clear the front away.
As long as you're running those guards, you're keeping the Swiss from coming into the house anyways.
Vi får bara med en och det är den där. Och den där i nuläget är ju ingen gard. Då får de runda först. Så rundar vi nu, vad?
Jag tycker bara att det är viktigt att vi har ettan säkert, alltså när du ska spela.
I like removing the long guard. It's a danger, that shot.
Då tycker jag vi ska ta den.
I think so.
Jag håller nog med.
Especially since they can't really get at the short guards because of the long guard.
And with the out turn on this side, it's very difficult to get hidden behind those blue.
It's covering the 4-foot circle. The 2 yellow stones belonging to Binja Feltscher in the back of the house, so all sorts of reasons for removing the long guard here. So that is what they are going to do. And there's a chance to hit it in the direction of the other 2 blue stones nearer the house, so could remove 2 here.
Sarah's been hitting very well all game. She very routined with those peels all game.
So the long guard is removed, but no damage done to the 2 shorter guard stones belonging to Feltscher.
Riktig skott! Inne 4! Riktig skott! Tia, riktig! Tia, riktig! Tia! Riktig! Tia! Tia! Fish! Tia, 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 tia!
Yeah, nicely played.
Sehr schön!
Very short. Yeah, just get rid of those.
Träff eller?
Clear all of them if you can.
Nej, inte jättetunn. Halv.
And roll away with your shooter.
Kom med. Kom med.
Nej!
Okej.
Well, this front is open. Did roll a little unfortunate roll for them.
Ja. 2. Ja, vill jag sitta? Ja, 2. Ja. Ja, där.
Those two blues just lined right up.
Mitt i! Mit 2! På till länge! 2! På 2!
So Irini Shore
Mitt i 2! Tia! Tia!
just going to guard these two stones.
So I want to get it lined up.
Tia, 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 tia! Ja. Sehr schön.
Looks nicely played.
Schön. Bleib zu sich.
Lite där, nästan kör.
So if Sissy Ostlund could get to these two, then they can be removed. But at the moment, the tough job is to be able to get to them. Nice guard shot from Irini Shore. So Sabina Kraup then having a go at raising this.
And straight back, gets one, gets two, and moves one off the forefoot. Very good shot. Excellent shot.
Yep, you can't beat that. Very well played.
Yeah. Does still leave the center guard for the Swiss, but certainly clears up that mess a bit. And that Swiss rock did roll over to the side a bit. So always have a play on it.
So the removal of those two does leave the Ostlund team lying shot stone at the moment, with that one at the back of the 4-foot circle.
You'll have to almost pretty well come down to the back of the 4-foot maybe, to avoid setting up a double. That'll that Swiss rock really rolled well for the Swedes. In a really good position to be able to use it. Oh, she's on the guard. Ooh, just gets by. Looked like they left that just too long.
Oh, good shot from FELTSCHER.
That's nice, yep. It might have come out the other side though.
Finally, she gets a draw weight to perfection.
You might be able to get at it with the intern. Still, does curl enough there.
So Ostlund is selecting that line for her own
I think
stone here.
She can see half of that, I think. Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, it was really difficult for the Swiss to get any sort of real cover on that shot without chance of a double being there anyways.
The sweepers onto it. Just trying to hold the line here. Usually a good sign if they're on it, off it. So she must be close to the target with this. Well,
Good shot.
Ska vi stanna här?
difficult to remove this
Yeah.
Swedish stone without damaging your own shot at the back there. Of course, that was the whole point of coming down that line.
Zeg nog terug, alltså jag tror att det är
Ja.
Kör för hand, volgens mij.
Jag backar en lång tillbaka. Jag vet inte om du
Ja,
eller nej.
jag slänger på över.
Typ.
Det är inte einfach som skier.
Okej.
Men jag kommer så vitt, alltså kommer så 12 för halv.
Okej, gut.
12 för halv! Ha? Kommer 12 för halv! Ja, syns gott! Klapp så!
So FELTSCHER trying to remove the Swedish stone and trying to lie to. She's wide at the moment.
It'll move at the end.
It needs to move before getting to where the guard is.
Oh, she's on her own. That's a draw for two.
Well, bad shot there from Binja FELTSCHER. That was the danger, just taking a little too much ice. Of course, it caught the blue stone before making contact with OESTLUND's counter on the 4-foot circle. So a straight draw down this line. She can afford to be a bit heavy, bump the yellow stone back because it's not going anywhere with the backing of the blue one behind it. And a chance to stretch the lead from 6-4 to 8-4 here for OESTLUND.
That'd pretty well put the game away, I think. Still 2 ends to go. This is looking really good. Nicely done.
Well, OESTLUND has the draw weight absolutely perfectly
All game.
in this game.
Mm.
So with that draw for 2 points, the OESTLUND team will take an 8-4 advantage into the 7th end. So end number 7, and no risks being taken by OESTLUND, who will throw the stone through the house. Lead player Christine Urech.
Flynn's will face Verona in their last game. FELTSCHER, I mean, will face Verona in their next game. And Ostlund will face Team Fleming in their last game.
Paulina Stein then. Once more. Throwing the shot through. Ignoring that stone of the FELTSCHER team. Corner guard.
Oh, no yellow rocks at the back of the house this end. That's positive for the Swedes. And 2 guards are up. Double clearing attempt here. Just gets too much of that. Come around the 10th here. Kaufman. Needs to curl quite a bit to get buried. I think it's still half open. It's almost fully open. Really need to get close to the guards to get it in buried on the intern side there. That looked like it might have been turned in a bit.
Franziska Kaufman once more.
Looks a little short. Just still too far away from the guard to get buried.
And not curling much on that line.
No.
Not at all. So
Sabina Kropp. She wouldn't mind rolling away here completely because that rock is behind the tee line. Just pick it out. Nicely done.
Shorey. Third player for FELTSCHER.
It's a little closer to the guard, but still.
Hoping to get right round, but it's not
It
curling
just- it
a lot
doesn't-
at the end, is it?
No, it won't finish at the end enough. Yeah, a little bit buried. Almost needs to throw a natural in there. Get it really close to the guard. And take it at the end. Oh, nicely played. Take that right out.
So just rolling out. Stone of Sabina Kraup.
This will be the fourth attempt now to get one behind that guard. That's still.
No, it really doesn't draw much at all from that point in to the house. Of course, it allows the Ostland team to see it. No finish there at all, Armin. Well, it did. Has gone round a bit this time.
Well, you know, if you throw it and get the right weight, so you don't have to sweep it until it, and then just skin it past the guard, then finish it at the end. It will get in there, but it's a really difficult shot. And this one slid behind the tee line, so Sarah or Sissy can draw down to it. Or at least try and stay in front of it. Well, she thinks she might be able to get at it. Now she's going to up the weight a little bit here. A little board or hack weight or something like that. Back line.
So Sissy Ostland. Skip. Of the Karlstad team going for this
This is curling.
takeout. But she's going to catch the guard.
Yeah, it's curling.
She's touched the guard and
Left the guard.
left the guard in the front of the house. So chance here for Binja Feltscher. Definite opportunity for 2 points here if she can convert this. The hit and roll in behind the guard would help things even more. So her play has been a little up and down this morning, but chance here to make amends. Nice hit and roll in behind the cover would certainly test the Swedish resolve with the last stone of Sissy Ostland remaining. She got the roll.
Well, she did.
She did
Nicely.
a bit. Another inch or two might have been better, but it's certainly at least partially covered. We'll see in a moment.
Ostland ignoring the one in the forefoot and going for the easier takeout on that one.
Well, she has got at least half the stone covered. If you're sitting in the hack, you can probably only see a very small part of that blue stone behind the yellow one. So Ostland rightly going for the stone on the other side. And it doesn't really matter too much to her if she ends up losing 2 points to the Feltscher team at this stage, the seventh end. She's 4 up.
2 is okay, 3 would not be good.
And this one's curling.
Oh, did she touch that?
Well,
She
she
got it anyways. Well, she looks like she touched that guard. Just feathered it.
So now a free draw to anywhere in the house for 2 points for FELTSCHER. And this is not a given her attempts at the draw thus far.
Certainly been struggling with the draw weight all game.
Yeah, too heavy, too light. So this time she's got 12 feet to draw to and 2 sweepers ready to sweep. This would bring the game back to 8-6.
Sweepers seem to be happy with it. And the way they're working it certainly looks pretty good.
She only really needs a piece of the 12 foot. She will draw the shot without any trouble this time. And 2 points scored by the skip from Flims. And that brings the game a little bit tighter. 8 shots to 6 in favour of OESTLUND.
Yeah, a little bit of hope for the Swiss. It's not 2 is not an impossibility. Very difficult without the hammer, but certainly not an impossibility.
Mitt i. Gut. Skulle Theo.
Richtig ist gut. Wir tun den ersten ab, nicht? Gut. Gut, Klaus. Zieh. Oh. Sehr schön, Krieger.
Iren.
Super. Locker, oder?
So a very long guard.
Smaken soft peeling.
And a soft peeling attempt here. By Paulina Stein.
Soft peeling.
Going to come across the face of it and try and split him. Ooh, just missed it. It was very, very close.
Just to move them away from the centre of the
Oh, that
play.
was perfectly played, actually. That's good weight. Didn't miss it by much.
Vergangen. Hæ? Minuten vergangen. 2.
Ja.
Christina will be asked to put another center guard up.
Of ik knap loop.
Want to get good separation on these two. Yeah, to sweep this, try and get it to the center line. And get some distance between the two.
Sehr schön.
Well done.
Tipptopp, oder?
A nice shot there from Christine Urech.
65.
Another soft peeling attempt. This looks a little better. Yeah, great shot with the end. Removes the shooter. Perfectly played.
Ja, voor 64 en gezicht 75. Dat is super.
Franziska Kaufmann once again.
Ja. Richtig ist gut. Gut, Lengi. Richtig ist gut.
Looks like she's going behind already.
Wechseln. Ist doch aber lang.
Ja, het witte zak.
It's definitely going behind.
A little bit heavy
Goed zo.
and wide of the line.
Might have played another guard.
Aber dat stimmt niet.
Sarah Carlson, been steady with those peels all game. She's thrown lots of them. And routinely accomplishes that task. Solid game by Sarah.
Ja.
So the last end of regulation play, and Switzerland have to, or Binja Feltscher anyway, Swiss team have to steal 2 points to get the game into extra time.
Nee, is goed, Lengi. Met die twee. Goed, Lengi. Ja, goed zo. Willig. Ja. Mooi lopen.
Probeer iets, ja.
Af is goed, Lengi. Zo.
Goed.
That guard in place.
Sissy Osland just indicating to Sarah Carlson to remove that stone and run her shooter out of play. I don't think they've got too much to worry about here. There's no real guards. There's one extreme corner guard there, but nothing else to
No place
get
to
in the
run
way.
to.
That's
No-
right.
No place to hide.
No place to hide.
Met die.
And so at this stage, both teams have played 2 games, and Sissy Osland has won her first 2 and looks likely to win this. And by contrast,
Met die.
Binja Feltscher has lost her first 2 and looks likely to be heading to another defeat here.
So they're 0-7 in the last 2 this tournament in the last 2 years. This team tends to start a little slower than some of the others.
Well, we are still in September.
That's
So-
true. Seems like the curling season's been going on for a long time already. I think I started sometime in June. Baden Curling Club in Switzerland has ice from June on.
Nou, vind ik goed. Ga ik het met die. Zo maar eens, met die.
Gut. Tipptopp. Sehr schön.
Goed zo.
Sehr schön. Nachher gehen wir da hinten drauf. Oder was? Wo? Da.
It's got to make sure sweep that shooter far over.
Rösa vinner. Bra.
Können wir da. Ich probiert sie dann irgendwie in der Doppel und dann liegt sie vor der her.
Ja, goed.
So.
So Binja Feltscher then coming to play her first stone here, and
Ja.
Switzerland lie one. They're going to try and are they going to try and line this up with the stone they already have? I hope that there's just one target and City Ostland can miss it twice.
They've been pretty solid with their takeouts. And I think as long as Sissy's got a draw to the forefoot, she's probably pretty comfortable the way she's been throwing. This will need to be in the rings. Guard's not going to help her. Hit on the nose and stay here. The Swiss won't have too much to that they'll be able to do.
Stick will end the game, I think. So Sissy Ostland, her first stone here in the 8th and last regulation end of play. This one looks on target, and it will be on just off the nose.
Didn't want to roll out. Swiss will now try and split that guard that was just put there by Bina. Try and roll 2 into the house. We're going to go down to the last rock, maybe. She'll need to get both of these in.
Okay.
So no stones in the house, but one Swiss or FELTSCHER blue counter about 30 centimetres. 20 centimetres short of the rings. Trying to split these into lie 2. It should be lying a tie game. If she doesn't make it here, then the game will be Sweden's.
Now she's nosing it. Well, maybe. Oh, she does. She makes it.
Well,
is she hanging around? Yes, she does.
Those 2 really outside biters. She makes the shot though. So
Sissy forced to make her last rock.
Sissy Ostland now just has to hit this anywhere out of play. Doesn't matter where her shooter lies. She will have the game won. 8-6 she leads at the moment.
Almost thought that had curled too much.
So she needs a straight miss here. FELTSCHER needs a straight miss here for an extra end to be played.
I wouldn't put my money on it.
No. So Sissy Ostland, last stone of the game in regulation play at least. This is a fairly straight line on this out-turn handle. She looks on target all the way.
Very controlled.
She is on target. Switzerland will pick up 1 to tighten the score, 8 shots to 7, but the win goes to Sissy Ostland and her team.
Very solid performance from the Swedes.
They will win the game, 8 shots to 7. With that, they go on to 3 wins in their section. And FELTSCHER, unfortunately, no wins at all yet, with 1 more game remaining for both of these teams before the quarterfinals tomorrow. So we can look at the scoreline. A big 4-ender in the second end was the killer blow for the FELTSCHER team. Ostland scoring 4. And then a couple more 2s. Loose draw shot play from Bina FELTSCHER herself certainly cost her a point or 2 in that game. May well have cost her victory. But the scoreline really tells it all with the 4 points in the second end. while we're just waiting for our highlights to be got ready for us, I can give you a little promotion about what is in store later on this afternoon. We have the game between Margarita Sigfridsson,
That's correct, yeah.
and Alina Pats, reigning world champion. Sigfridsson, of course, with Maria Pritz throwing the last stones. The main Swedish team in recent years. Been at Olympics and World Championships, European Championships.
Should be a good game.
And Alina Pats, of course, for those of you who view our curling during the season, you may remember her fantastic finishing shot at the World Women's Championship earlier in the year in March, back in Sapporo, Japan, to beat Canada with the last stone of the game. And Armin Harder, who's here with me, he won't forget that moment.
Certainly won't.
It's an exciting one.
Exciting stuff, yep.
So that's our scheduled game for later on. And that will be played at 1 p.m. local time here in, beg your pardon, it will not. It will be played at 1:30 local time here in Stockholm. But now we can go to the highlights for the game we've just been watching in the first end. This is an attempt to raise. And 2 shots of a steal go to the FELTSCHER team on end 1. But it didn't take long for the Swedish OESTLUND team to get back into their stride, and in the very next end, a draw to the button by OESTLUND sealed a 4-pointer for them and a 4-2 advantage after 2 ends. So, strong play from the Swedes. Into end 3. And Binja FELTSCHER facing all kinds of trouble again, lying 3 against, all fairly close to the centre of the house. But this draw shot by the Swiss skip sealed a single point, perhaps against the odds, and with it a tightening of the score back to 4-3. 3 ends down. OESTLUND still in control though, going into the 4th end, and once more things looking pretty good for the Karlstad skip. She has another free draw, and her draw weight was perfect all game today with that shot in the 4th end. She goes ahead 6 shots to 3 at the break. And immediately after the break, Binja FELTSCHER will play a draw shot, but she comes up short, gives up a point. And then we're into end number 6, 6-4, the advantage now for OESTLUND. And she will play this very nice draw shot for her deuce in the 6th end to stretch the lead on an 8-4 advantage going into the 7th end. So, draw shot this time for FELTSCHER, who lies 1 on the 4-foot circle. And struggling with the draw weight, this time she makes it nicely for her pair. And that tightening the score back to 8-6. But can she make a steal of 2 in the last? Well, she can't. The end is open throughout. And Sissi OESTLUND has a fairly straightforward hit to remove the Swiss counter. Leave Switzerland lying 1, but it's not enough, and Sissi OESTLUND and her team win the match 8-7.
Sissi, another good win for your team. How do you and your team feel at this stage of the competition?
We feel very good. We've had 3 pretty close games and we've played very well, so we'll keep fighting and hopefully we'll win the next one too.
3 wins in a row. What's the key for your success with you and your team's preparations?
Nyckeln den här gången tror jag är att vi har tävlat väldigt mycket tillsammans. Och vi har spelat 2 tävlingar redan och hunnit få ihop laget och vi har väldigt bra känsla för den här hallen.
And going forward, you know, your strategy for going forward to make the final stages?
Vi har en match kvar nu i gruppspelet och vi planerar att vinna den också för att säkra platsen som gruppetta och sen så får vi värdera om målet och se vad målet blir när vi når slutspelet.
Tack så mycket.
Tack.
Multilingual interview
Yes.
from my colleague Joanna Kelly with Sissi Ostlund. This is the end of our coverage this morning for the 4th round of play of the 5, and we are looking forward to the next round this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. local time, and that will feature Alina Patz, reigning world champion from Switzerland, against Margarita Sigfridsson. So please join us for that. I'm Richard Harding, and today I was joined with Armin